And well, just kind of treating anyone from outside as bad and as an enemy, and you know, being kind of a jerk all around. I mean, have political views as you may. I don't really claim to understand the American system. I don't know what a liberal is. People tend to call me one, but we don't have that in Germany. I have no idea what a liberal even does. I just believe in the German principles that human dignity is untouchable. And well, that's a liberal thing, I guess. I am a liberal, even if I don't know what it entails, because I just believe in certain levels of human dignity and that we all are equals to each other no matter what our skin looks like, or genders, or orientation, whatever. So, I would argue, isn't it kinda weird to act like this is obviously, the bad guy, because everyone can tell, and I could go out in the street and ask anyone, they would probably agree with me. And so, what am I getting at, right? Well, a certain political leader right now of America has made himself known for a few things, right? Certain terms that have been removed, exactly, for example, I don't know, people of color, gender identity, I think it was, women. While I do not wish to leave myself out of the window much, because I don't know much about Tomoe herself. For one, your avatar seems to have a tanned skin. That might just imply, like, tomboys are people that go out, so they might be tanned. I would get it, I have a tan myself, since I'm a gardener and work outside in the sun. So I would not argue that Tomoe is probably a person of color herself. What she definitely is, though, is despite the whole tomboy aesthetic, something I personally like, by the way, as I said before. No critic on that, I'm a big fan of that myself, it's the reason I got there. Tomo, so that might shock you, a woman. So, I know from, experience in Germany, sometimes people even support political movements that are bad against themselves. Like, I don't want to name names, because I want to keep that comment section a bit less toxic as it already might be. There's a certain political movements group in Germany which is the bad guys. Obviously, to everyone who can see, they have been proven to be the bad guys multiple times. And even despite, being racist, there are people of color in that political group. I don't know why they're there. I don't know why someone would want to be against themselves, but I guess some people have such little standards. I've seen the opposite happen before, like white people who are racist against other white people. Foreshadowing for a later video, by the way, we get there eventually. What I was getting at before I get distracted again. I guess it's not that unlikely for women to like Trump, because I've seen it before, right? Americans are very verbal about their opinions. That included. And while I would not say that Tomoe is a Trump supporter, the thing that I'm even getting at here the whole time is she is still part of the government. And yes, she has around the time declared that she's gonna leave the government, so might be very included to that. But that's not a guarantee. Because might be certain positions more for speculation in this case, actually. I lied to you. It's not a proven fact. But let me ramble on a bit more, because this is what I do here. If I would be if I would be a patriot, which I'm not, I would serve my government as a soldier. And I make content speaking about my government in a positive light, since I'm a patriot and believe in the values of my land quite strongly and with pride, as they do. If there's a political leader who's a questionable person, a proven criminal, a racist, a sexist, an offender in many regards, and obviously, if you're not absolutely blind, the bad guy, you would obviously consider leaving the government's service as a soldier. It is what I would do. If I was in Germany, a soldier, and the evil group would take over, I would not wish to serve anymore, because I would not wish to put my life on the line in service of bad people. Obviously. Now that's not the point I am on about, since she has declared that she's gonna leave the US Army soon. Be it for that fact or that she just got tired of it. I mean, it's a dangerous job, and these are dangerous times. The problem I really see here is a different one. While I might not even consider the idea of her leaving the government to Trump as unlikely, while I kind of have the feeling that is not the reason for it, but I really hope it is. I hope my feeling is not wrong. I hope my feeling is wrong, and that is the reason she left, because she has a more complex. My actual issue is the patriotism. I'm not saying just because there's a bad leader that your country has now gone to hell and is, to be hated by you. Because of course one bad apple should not rot all the others. However, speaking of America and still those high regards and praising it whenever I can and saluting to the flag like it's a religious doctrine, which sure might be the way she has been raised. It's not a really good time to do this for the next couple of years. Since if your land has been taken over basically by someone who's really evil and twisting all those ideas and the flag, turning everything bad, basically. You would not wish to be portrayed as someone who could potentially be viewed as a supporter of the system, right? I'm not saying you have to hate it. Germany has its flaws, and certainly I'm not a patriot, but that doesn't mean that I hate this land. This land has potential, so does America. There can be good in it, there is good in it. But right now is not the time to be a patriot. Right now is not the time to, be prideful. I know that's maybe hard for an American to understand, because they always have been this way, but right now is just not the time to salute to this flag, to ideas it has abandoned years ago, to a dream that is, just that. It's not real. The American dream does literally not exist. You cannot just be anyone and work yourself up. That maybe never even was true to begin with. Because if I look at the positions of power, it's mostly men, even more so white men, with certain people in power right now, who also seem to have something against women as a whole. That doesn't seem to change. So I just don't see how someone can still have this unquestioned position of loyalty to that idea that just doesn't exist anymore, without thinking to himself, hey, maybe it's time to not be a patriot for a while, at least, until things have turned around better. Because if I was an American in this situation, I would be quite ashamed of myself, because the world now does not view you favorably. They never even did. But they view you even worse. How could you stand there and still be so proud of being hated by everyone else for valid reasons? It is just something that I do not really